Let's get fretting. If you're new to playing guitar and you want to start using the fretboard, you've come to the right place. In this video, you will learn how to correctly put your fingers on the fretboard, how to get started with reading guitar tabs. We will learn a simple melody and scale, which fingers to use while playing frets, and make sure you stay right till the end so you can see how to get creative with this. Now let's learn how to fret correctly. Fretting a note is when you place your finger on the fretboard and pluck to create different notes. When you're placing your finger on the fretboard, you want to make sure you're as close to the fret as you can get. These metal strips that go along the front of the neck are the frets. These gaps between the frets are called the fret spaces. When you play a fret, you want to put your finger in the fret space right behind the fret. You don't want to play on top of the fret or you get this dull sound. You also don't want to play too far back or you get a horrible buzzing sound. You want to get right up to the fret so you're basically touching it but you're not on top of it. And there you go. I'm not even holding it down hard and I'm not getting any buzz. Also, you want to be playing with the very tip of your finger. It's very common for people to play with this part of the finger, the pad. Don't do that. That is a no. That is a yes. The reason being, if I was to play this string with the pad of my finger, I can't let the string below it ring through. It's not as important now we're only playing individual notes, but when you come to playing chords, it's imperative that you use the tips. Let's talk about guitar tabs. Tabs are a form of music notation that guitarists use to read music. You have traditional notation, which is the dots, or you've got tabs, which are numbers. As you see from this diagram, the lines going across are the string lines. The strings are named E, A, D, G, B, and E. This is the high E string, and it is the top line when you look at the tabs. The rest of the strings are reversed, and the thickest string is the bottom line. If you see a 0, I call it an O, you would play the string open. If you see a 1, you put your finger on the first fret. Like I said earlier, just behind the fret. If you see a 3, you put your finger on the 3. It's a bit like battleships. It's coordinates of where to put your fingers. Let's learn a very simple melody just to get us started. That is O, 1, 3. At this point, I do also have to mention that these numbers do represent the musical letters, the musical notes. As we know that is the high E string, so it's an E. Number 1 is an F. Number 3 is a G. Is that something you can do? When we play it like this, it is called ascending, as it is going higher. Descending means going lower. So let's play it descending. Let's try ascending and descending. We'll only hit the top and bottom note one time. It's not much of a melody, but it's something to get your fingers going, get you started. How about we bring in the B string? We're going to play the same pattern, but on the B string. That's ascending. Let's go descending. How about ascending and descending? Let's find out what notes those numbers represent on the B string. So we know the open string, the O, is a B. 1 is a C. 3 is a D. Don't worry too much about remembering everything. I would suggest just sticking with the numbers. I'm just letting you know that there are letters, musical notes behind the numbers. Eventually, you will just know both. Let's bring it all together. We're going to do a full ascend and a full descend, all the way from B to G. Here we go. Now descending. How about we bring in the G string as well? For the G string, we're going to use fret number 2. We're only going to play open, O, and 2 on the G. On the G string you have, obviously, the open, the O, G. Then number 2 is A, G, and A. So you may have noticed what's happened here. We now have our lowest note is a G. Our highest note is a G. So we can play a full octave now, G to G. Here we go. G to G. Let's descend, shall we? G to G descending. How about we ascend and descend? Here we go. Using the correct fingers. If you're a total beginner, use whichever finger you find comfortable, but you may have noticed I'm using all 3 of these fingers. There is a 1 finger per fret rule. Now it's not a strict rule, but I would recommend trying to stick to this right from the start because it will help you so much in the long run. The fingers are numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can see for fret number 1, I'm using finger number 1. For fret number 3, I'm using finger number 3. And then for fret number 2, I'm using finger number 2. What that means is, if I was using 1 finger, it's possible, but your hand's got to go everywhere. But like I say, if you're just learning, if you're just starting, feel free just to use 1 finger, but really try your hardest to get your other fingers working as quickly as you can. Any practice you can get, just getting your fingers on them frets and getting notes is a good thing just to get you going. Why not just go crazy and be creative? Let's see what's happening up the neck. It's actually how I started, just experimenting and seeing what fits. I hope that video helped and gave you a good idea about how to approach fretting on the guitar. Check out my next video about how to play chords, and please like and subscribe to Melody Bar. Let's go on this musical journey together. I can't wait. Melody Bar, music for everyone.